Welcome to Woo English, where we journey through stories to learn English. Today we'll embark on a captivating tale titled Laika's Legacy, A Journey Beyond the Stars. Narrated with clear and simple sentences, this story aims to inspire and educate. As we dive into this incredible journey, we encourage you to share your thoughts and engage with us in the comments section below. If you find our stories helpful, please show your support by hitting the like button. Your likes motivate us to continue creating content that assists you in your English learning adventure. Now, let's begin the story of Laika, a true hero whose legacy reaches far beyond the stars. Chapter 1. The Streets of Moscow. In the heart of Moscow, where the streets hummed with the bustle of daily life, there lived a small, spirited stray dog named Laika. With her fur a blend of brown and white, and eyes that sparkled with curiosity, Laika was a sight to behold. She roamed the alleyways and sidewalks, her steps light, her nose keen, always on the lookout for a morsel of food or a warm spot to rest. Winter in Moscow was unforgiving, painting the city in shades of grey and white. Snowflakes danced in the air, landing softly on Laika's nose, making her sneeze. She found solace in the most unlikely of places, from the warmth of a steam vent to the cosy nooks behind bustling market stalls. Despite the cold, Laika's heart was warm, filled with an adventurous spirit that led her on countless explorations through the city's sprawling landscape. Laika was no ordinary dog. She possessed an uncanny intelligence and a fearless heart. The streets were her home, and she knew them as well as the back of her paw. She dodged cars, charmed pedestrians, and even outsmarted the other strays who tried to claim her finds. Each day was a new adventure, and Laika greeted it with wagging tail and eager eyes. The people of Moscow were kind to her. Some would toss her scraps of food, while others would stop to give her a gentle pat on the head. Laika, with her gentle demeanor and trusting eyes, made friends easily. Yet, as the night fell and the city lights blinked to life, she would find herself alone again, navigating the silent streets under the glow of the moon. One evening, as Laika was exploring an alleyway she hadn't ventured into before, she stumbled upon a peculiar scene. A group of men in thick coats and fur hats were gathered around a strange, large object. It was unlike anything Laika had ever seen, with its smooth metallic surface gleaming under the streetlights. Curious, she edged closer, her steps cautious but determined. The men were too engrossed in their discussion to notice her approach. Laika listened, tilting her head, trying to understand their words. They spoke of stars, of orbits, and of a mission of great importance. It was a language she didn't know, but the excitement in their voices was infectious. Suddenly, a door on the side of the object opened, revealing a dark interior. Laika's curiosity got the better of her, and before she knew it, she had stepped inside. The door closed behind her with a soft click, and she found herself enveloped in darkness. Panic fluttered in Laika's chest for a moment, but then she remembered her adventures on the streets, how she had faced dangers and challenges with courage. She wasn't just any stray dog. She was Laika, the explorer, the survivor. As her eyes adjusted to the dark, she noticed a faint light at the end of the compartment. She followed it, her paws silent on the cold metal floor. The light led her to a small window, and what she saw took her breath away. The city of Moscow lay spread out below her, its lights twinkling like 1,000 stars. Laika had seen the city from many angles, but never like this. It was as if she was seeing it for the first time, through eyes filled with wonder and dreams. It was at that moment that Laika realized she was no longer just a stray dog. She was a part of something much larger, a mission that reached beyond the streets of Moscow, beyond the skies. Her heart swelled with a sense of purpose, a feeling she had never known before. The men found her there, staring out the window, a small figure against the vastness of the city. They were surprised, of course, but there was also a look of admiration in their eyes. They saw in Laika not just a stray, but a creature with the heart of an explorer, ready to face the unknown. From that day forward, Laika's life changed. The streets of Moscow were no longer her home. She had a new mission, one that would take her far from the familiar alleyways and snowy sidewalks. But as she embarked on this incredible journey, she carried with her the spirit of the city, the kindness of its people, and the courage of a small dog who dared to dream big. Laika, the spirited stray of Moscow, was about to become a legend, a symbol of hope and adventure. Her journey from the cold streets to the stars above was a testament to the endless possibilities that lay within each of us, waiting to be discovered. And so, our story begins. With a dog named Laika, and a city that gave her the wings to fly. Chapter 2. A Chance Encounter. On a brisk morning in Moscow, as the city awoke to the promise of a new day, Laika found herself wandering near a large, imposing building. Its walls, towering and grey, held secrets and stories that piqued her ever-present curiosity. This was no ordinary place. It was a hub of knowledge where scientists worked tirelessly, dreaming of touching the stars. Laika, with her keen sense of adventure, had always been drawn to the unfamiliar and the unknown. Today, her paws had led her to the doorstep of destiny. She sniffed around, her nose twitching at the sense of metal, electricity, and something else, a scent she couldn't quite place but felt intriguingly important. Inside the building, a group of scientists was gathered around a large table, their faces etched with lines of concentration and excitement. They were in the midst of planning a mission unlike any other, a mission that would expand the boundaries of human knowledge. Little did they know, their perfect candidate was just outside their door. As fate would have it, the door opened, and a young scientist stepped out, his arms laden with papers and charts. In his haste, he nearly stumbled over Laika, who had sat down to rest her tired legs. Surprised, he dropped his papers, which fluttered down like a snowstorm around them. Laika, unafraid and curious, tilted her head and wagged her tail, watching the papers settle around her. The scientist, taken aback by her calm demeanor and friendly gaze, couldn't help but smile. He knelt down, gathering his papers, and took a moment to stroke Laika's fur. "Hello there, little explorer," he murmured, surprised at how this small, seemingly insignificant encounter was tugging at his heartstrings. He noticed Laika's keen interest in the building and the work being done inside. It was as if she understood the importance of their mission, as if she wanted to be a part of it. Intrigued by her intelligence and bravery, the scientist made a decision that would change the course of history. "Come with me," he said gently, beckoning Laika to follow him inside. Hesitant at first, Laika took a step forward, her adventurous spirit overcoming her uncertainty. As she crossed the threshold, a world of wonder opened up before her. The building was alive with activity, with people and machines working in harmony towards a shared dream. The scientist led Laika through corridors filled with the hum of activity, into a large room where the rest of the team was gathered. "Look who I found outside," he announced, a hint of excitement in his voice. The room fell silent as all eyes turned towards Laika. There was a moment of uncertainty, a pause where the future hung in balance. Then, one by one, the scientists approached, each offering a greeting, a pat on the head, a kind word. Laika, for her part, greeted each one with a wag of her tail, her eyes bright with curiosity and intelligence. The lead scientist, a man of vision and determination, knelt before Laika, looking into her eyes. He saw something there, a spark of something special. Courage, perhaps, or maybe the spirit of exploration. Could it be, he thought, that our perfect candidate has found us? The decision was made. Laika would join their mission, not as a mere passenger, but as a pioneer, a brave soul willing to venture into the unknown for the sake of discovery. The scientists were amazed at her calmness, her willingness to participate, and her quick adaptation to the new environment. Over the next few days, Laika became a part of their team, her presence a constant source of joy and inspiration. She underwent tests and training, showing remarkable resilience and intelligence. The scientists marveled at her progress, her ability to understand and respond to their commands. Laika's story spread throughout the facility, her fame growing with each passing day. She was no longer just a stray dog. She was a symbol of hope, of the unbreakable bond between humans and animals, and of the shared dream that united them all. As Laika prepared for her historic journey, she remained fearless and eager, her spirit undimmed by the challenges ahead. She had found her place among the stars, a place where her courage and curiosity would shine brightly, guiding the way for those who would follow. Her chance encounter with the scientist had led her to this moment, a moment where she stood on the brink of the unknown, ready to leap. Laika, the spirited stray from the streets of Moscow, was about to embark on the greatest adventure of her life, proving that even the smallest among us can achieve the extraordinary. The scientists, who had once looked to the stars and dreamed, now looked at Laika and saw those same dreams reflected in her eyes. Together, they were about to venture into the unknown, united by a common purpose and a shared vision of the future. And so, as Laika stood ready, the scientists gathered around her, offering words of encouragement and farewells. There was a sense of solemnity, of the gravity of the moment, but also a palpable excitement, a feeling that they were about to witness the beginning of something truly remarkable. Laika, with her tail wagging and her eyes alight with courage, stepped forward into her destiny. She was more than just a dog. She was a pioneer, a beacon of hope, and a testament to the boundless possibilities that lie within each of us. As the doors closed behind her, sealing her fate, Laika looked back one last time, her gaze lingering on the faces of those she had come to know and love. Then, turning forward, she faced the future with bravery, her heart alight with the spirit of adventure. The streets of Moscow were far behind her now, but Laika carried them with her, a reminder of where she had come from and the incredible journey she was about to undertake. Chapter 3: The Selection. In the heart of Moscow, within the walls of a bustling scientific facility, a remarkable decision was about to be made. Among the many strays who roamed the city's streets, one dog had captured the hearts and minds of a group of scientists. Her name was Laika, and she was about to be chosen for a mission that would etch her name into the annals of history. The process of selecting a dog for the space mission was rigorous and demanding. The scientists sought not just any dog, but one with exceptional qualities. They needed a dog who was not only brave and calm under pressure, but also adaptable to new environments. In Laika, they believed they had found all these traits and more. Laika's journey to becoming the chosen one began with a series of tests designed to assess her physical and psychological resilience. She was placed in simulated environments that mimicked the conditions of space travel. These tests were crucial, for they would determine if Laika could handle the stress of launch and the solitude of space. Despite the challenges, Laika approached each test with unwavering courage. She adapted quickly to the confined spaces, showing no signs of anxiety or fear. Her calm demeanor in the face of unfamiliar situations impressed the scientists. It was as if Laiku understood the importance of her mission, accepting each new challenge with a silent determination. But it wasn't just Laika's bravery that made her stand out. Her gentle nature and the trust she placed in the humans around her played a significant role in her selection. The bond she formed with the scientists was strong, built on mutual respect and understanding. They saw in Laika not just a subject of their experiments, but a companion, a fellow pioneer on a journey to the unknown. As the tests progressed, it became increasingly clear that Laika was the perfect candidate. Her size was ideal for the small spacecraft, and her coat, thick and warm, would provide some natural protection against the cold of space. Moreover, Laika's street-smart instincts and agility suggested that she could handle the physical demands of the mission. The decision was made. Laika would be the one to embark on this historic journey. The scientists gathered around her, their faces a mix of excitement and solemnity. They knew the risks involved and the sacrifice Laika was about to make. Yet, they also understood the significance of the mission and the potential it had to unlock the mysteries of space. In the days leading up to the launch, Laika underwent intensive training. She was introduced to the spacecraft that would carry her into orbit, spending hours inside to get accustomed to its confined space. The scientists worked tirelessly, ensuring that Laika was as prepared as she could be for the challenges ahead. Laika's diet was carefully monitored, and she was trained to eat a special gel-like food that could be consumed in zero gravity. Every detail of her well-being was considered, from her physical health to her emotional comfort. The scientists grew increasingly attached to Laika, admiring her resilience and spirit. As the launch date approached, the mood in the facility became more reflective. The scientists knew that they were about to send Laika on a one-way journey, a fact that weighed heavily on their hearts. They spent extra time with her, offering gentle words of encouragement and gratitude for her bravery. Laika, for her part, remained stoic and calm, unaware of the historical significance of her mission, but sensing the emotions of those around her. She continued to trust the humans who had chosen her for this journey, her loyalty unwavering until the end. The night before the launch, the lead scientist stayed with Laika, keeping her company in the quiet hours. He spoke to her of the stars, of the adventure she was about to undertake, and of the hope she represented for all of humanity. It was a poignant moment, a farewell between friends bound by a shared purpose. Laika's selection for the space mission was not just a testament to her extraordinary qualities, but also a reflection of the deep bond between humans and animals. She was not just a dog, she was a pioneer, chosen to lead the way into the vast unknown of space. As dawn broke on the day of the launch, Laika was prepared for her journey. She was placed inside the spacecraft, her small frame fitting perfectly within. The scientists looked on, pride and sadness mingling in their eyes. They had done everything in their power to prepare Laika for this moment, and now it was time to let her go. Laika's selection had been a journey of discovery, not just for her, but for all those who had worked with her. She had shown them the meaning of courage, of trust, and of the indomitable spirit that dwells within all living beings. As the countdown began and the engines roared to life, Laika was no longer just a stray from the streets of Moscow. She was a symbol of hope, embarking on a journey that would forever change the way humanity looked at the stars. And so, as Laika soared into the sky, her legacy was already being written. She had been chosen not just for her physical and mental traits, but for her heart. In her, the scientists had found not just a dog fit for space, but a soul, brave enough to venture into the unknown, paving the way for the future of space exploration. Chapter 4. Preparing for the Unknown. As the dawn broke over Moscow, casting a golden glow on the scientific facility, Laika began the most important phase of her journey. She was no longer just a dog. She had become a pioneer, preparing to embark on a mission that would take her far beyond the familiar streets of her city. This chapter of her story is about preparation, courage, and the bond between Laika and the team of scientists dedicated to her training. The training was designed to prepare Laika for everything she would experience in space, from the feeling of weightlessness to the confined space of her capsule. The scientists had developed a series of simulations that would help Laika adapt to these conditions, ensuring she was as ready as she could be for the journey ahead. One of the first challenges was the centrifuge, a machine that simulates the high forces experienced during rocket launch. The centrifuge was like a large spinning wheel, and Laika's capsule was placed inside it. The first time Laika was placed in the centrifuge, the scientists watched nervously, hoping she would cope with the sensation. To their relief, Laika remained calm, her heart rate steady. It was a promising start and a testament to Laika's bravery. Next, Laika was introduced to the space capsule, a small spherical pod that would be her home during the mission. The capsule was cramped, with just enough room for Laika to sit or lie down. The scientists spent hours with her in the capsule, helping her get used to the limited space. They played recordings of the sounds she would hear during the launch and in space, from the roar of the rocket engines to the silence of orbit. Laika listened intently, her ears twitching at the unfamiliar noises, but she showed no signs of distress. One of the most important aspects of Laika's training was learning to eat space food. In orbit, she wouldn't be able to eat regular food, so the scientists had developed a special gel-like food that Laika could consume in zero gravity. At first, Laika was hesitant to try the strange new food, but with encouragement and patience, she began to eat it willingly. The scientists were relieved. Laika needed to be able to eat to maintain her strength during the mission. As the training progressed, Laika and the scientists formed a deep bond. They admired her resilience and were moved by her trust in them. Laika, for her part, seemed to sense the importance of her role. She approached each new challenge with determination, never faltering, never showing fear. The days turned into weeks, and Laika's training became more intense. She spent longer periods in the capsule, becoming more accustomed to the confined space. The centrifuge tests became more frequent, simulating the intense conditions of the launch with increasing accuracy. Through it all, Laika remained steadfast, a beacon of courage in the face of the unknown. The scientists watched Laiku's progress with pride and a growing sense of responsibility. They were asking so much of her, sending her on a journey from which she would not return. They double-checked every detail of the capsule, ensuring it was as safe and comfortable as possible. They filled it with her favorite toys and blankets, small comforts for the journey ahead. As the training neared its end, the scientists gathered to review Laika's progress. They were amazed at how far she had come, from a stray dog on the streets of Moscow to the world's first astronaut. She had surpassed all their expectations, proving herself to be the perfect candidate for the mission. The night before the launch, the lead scientist visited Laika in her capsule. He sat with her, stroking her fur, speaking softly. He told her how proud they were of her, how she was about to make history. Laika looked up at him, her eyes bright and trusting. In that moment, they shared a connection that transcended words, a bond forged in the pursuit of discovery. Laika's training had prepared her as much as possible for the journey ahead. She was ready to face the unknown, to venture into space and explore the final frontier. Her courage and determination were an inspiration to all who knew her story. As the sun rose on the day of the launch, Laika was placed in her capsule for the last time. The scientists looked on, their hearts heavy with the knowledge of what was to come. They had done everything in their power to prepare Laika for this moment, but now it was out of their hands. Laika, the little dog from the streets of Moscow, was about to embark on a journey no living being had ever made before. Her story, a tale of courage and exploration, was just beginning. She was not just a dog, she was a pioneer, a symbol of the indomitable spirit of discovery that drives us to reach for the stars. As the countdown began and the engines roared to life, Laika sat calmly in her capsule, ready to face whatever lay ahead. She had been prepared for the unknown, and now she was ready to make history. Chapter 5. Part of the Team. In the bustling world of the Space Center, a unique friendship was blossoming. Laika, once astray on the cold streets of Moscow, had become an integral part of a team of scientists and trainers. This chapter is a tribute to the bonds formed during Laika's preparation for her historic mission, a testament to the unity and compassion at the heart of this extraordinary journey. As Laika's training intensified, so did her interactions with the team around her. Each day brought new challenges, but also new opportunities for connection. The scientists and trainers, once focused solely on the technicalities of the mission, found themselves growing deeply attached to the brave little dog who was at the center of it all. Dr. Ivanov, the lead scientist, was the first to notice the change. He had spent years dedicated to the space program, his life a whirlwind of equations and experiments. But with Laika's arrival, he found moments of joy and warmth in the midst of his rigorous schedule. Laika would greet him every morning with a wagging tail and an eager face, reminding him of the life outside his calculations. Maria, one of the trainers, developed a special bond with Laika. She was responsible for Laika's daily exercises and nutrition, a role that brought them close together. Maria would often talk to Laika as she worked, telling her about the stars and the vastness of space they were preparing to explore. In Laika's attentive gaze, Maria found an unexpected confidant, a silent supporter who seemed to understand her dreams and fears. Then there was Alexei, the technician who designed Laika's space capsule. He spent hours ensuring that every detail was perfect, from the temperature control to the comfort of Laika's harness. Laika, curious about the strange object that was to be her home, would watch him work, her head cocked to one side. Over time, Alexei found himself talking to Laika about his work, explaining the purpose of each gadget and wire. In those moments, the capsule became more than just a piece of equipment. It was a bridge between two beings, a shared project that brought them together. The bond between Laika and the team was not just emotional, it was a vital part of the mission's success. Laika's trust in her human companions allowed her to face the rigorous training with courage and calm. She learned to enter the centrifuge without fear, to eat her space food with relish, all because she knew she was not alone. The team, in turn, was inspired by Laika's resilience. They worked harder, pushed further, driven by the desire to ensure her safety and well-being. As the mission drew closer, the team gathered for a final dinner. It was a simple affair, but it was charged with emotion. They talked about the journey ahead, about the hopes and fears that accompanied it. But mostly they talked about Laika, about the stray dog who had become a symbol of their collective aspirations. Dr. Ivanov raised his glass in a toast. "To Laika," he said, his voice steady despite the lump in his throat. "May her journey be smooth, and may she always know that she is part of our team, part of our hearts." The room fell silent, each person lost in their thoughts. They were scientists, engineers, technicians, people of logic and reason. But in that moment, they were also friends, united by a bond that transcended the boundaries of their work. The next day, as they prepared for the launch, the team worked with a sense of purpose and determination. They checked and rechecked every system, every calculation. Laika, sensing the gravity of the moment, was unusually quiet, her eyes following each person as they moved around her. Before she was placed in the capsule, Maria knelt beside her, stroking her fur one last time. "You're not just a dog, Laika," she whispered. "You're part of us now, forever." Laika licked her hand, a simple gesture that spoke volumes. In that moment, they were not human and animal, scientist and subject. They were companions, fellow travelers on a journey that was about to begin. As the rocket lifted off, carrying Laika into the unknown, the team stood together, watching the sky. They had done everything in their power to prepare her, to protect her. Now all they could do was hope. Laika's mission marked the culmination of countless hours of work and preparation. But it was also the beginning of something new, a legacy of exploration and discovery, fueled by the courage of a little dog and the team that loved her. In the vastness of space, Laika was alone, but back on Earth, she was remembered, cherished, and missed. She had become more than just a part of the team. She had become a part of their lives, a reminder of why they looked to the stars. And so, as the world watched and wondered, a small team of scientists and trainers held on to the memory of a dog who had shown them the true meaning of courage and friendship. Laika's journey was theirs, a shared adventure that would bind them together for the rest of their days. Chapter 6. The Rocket. In the heart of the Space Center, a towering structure stood against the backdrop of the early morning sky. It was the rocket, a marvel of human engineering, designed to carry the brave little dog Laika into the vast expanse of space. This chapter tells the story of the rocket, its components, and the mission that would make history. The rocket, a slender tower of metal, gleamed in the sunlight, its surface smooth and unyielding. It was divided into sections, each with its own purpose in the journey to the stars. At the base was the engine, a powerhouse of technology that would ignite with a roar, propelling Laika towards her destiny. The engine was fueled by a mixture of chemicals stored in tanks within the rocket's lower section. When ignited, this fuel would produce an explosive force, strong enough to break free from the Earth's gravitational pull. Above the engine and fuel tanks was the second stage, a smaller section designed to continue the rocket's ascent once it had reached the upper atmosphere. This stage had its own engine and fuel supply, ready to take over when the first stage had done its job. Its role was crucial, for it would carry Laika into orbit, circling the Earth far above the clouds. At the very top of the rocket was the payload section, a small spherical capsule that would be Laika's home during her journey. This capsule was equipped with everything Laika needed to survive in space: air to breathe, water to drink, and special food to eat. It also contained instruments to measure temperature, pressure, and other important data. The capsule was designed to be as comfortable as possible for Laika, with soft padding on the walls and a window through which she could look out into the void. The purpose of the mission was both simple and profound. It was to prove that living beings could survive in space, paving the way for human exploration of the cosmos. Laika's journey would provide valuable data on the effects of weightlessness, radiation, and the psychological stress of space travel. This information would be critical in designing future missions, ensuring the safety of the astronauts who would follow in Laika's paw prints. As the launch day approached, the rocket stood ready on the launch pad, a silent sentinel awaiting its moment of glory. The scientists and engineers worked around the clock, checking and rechecking every system, every bolt, every wire. Their dedication was driven by a deep sense of responsibility, not just to Laika, but to the future of space exploration. The morning of the launch dawned clear and cold. The Space Center was a hive of activity, with technicians and officials moving briskly about their tasks. The air was charged with anticipation, a feeling of standing on the brink of a new era. Laika was brought to the capsule in the early hours, her small form dwarfed by the massive rocket. She was calm, her training having prepared her for this moment. The scientists and trainers gathered around, offering final words of encouragement. Then, with great care, Laika was placed inside the capsule, the door sealed behind her. As the sun rose, casting long shadows across the launch pad, the countdown began. The rocket's engines ignited with a thunderous roar, a column of fire and smoke billowing into the sky. Slowly, majestically, the rocket lifted off, carrying Laika into the unknown. The launch was a spectacle of light and sound, a testament to human ingenuity and courage. As the rocket ascended, it passed through the layers of the atmosphere, the forces of its passage shaking the very air. Then, with a final burst of speed, it broke free of the Earth's grip, entering the silent expanse of space. Laika, inside her capsule, became the first living being to orbit the Earth. She was alone, but not forgotten, her journey watched by millions around the globe. The rocket, once a towering structure on the ground, was now a bright star in the sky, a beacon of hope and exploration. The mission was a success, a step towards the stars that would inspire generations to come. It was made possible by the rocket, a marvel of science and engineering, and by Laika, a small dog with a big heart. Together, they had ventured into the unknown, forever changing the course of history. Chapter 7. Countdown to Liftoff. As the day of the launch dawned, the Space Center was a whirlwind of activity. Scientists and engineers moved with purpose, their faces a mix of concentration and anticipation. The mission that had consumed their lives for so many months was about to reach its climax. At the heart of it all was Laika, the brave little dog who was about to embark on an unprecedented journey into space. The early morning air was crisp and cool, filled with the sounds of preparations. The rocket, towering and majestic, stood on the launch pad, a silent testament to human ambition and ingenuity. It was more than just a machine. It was the culmination of countless hours of work, a beacon of hope pointing towards the stars. Inside the Space Center, the countdown had begun. The big digital clock ticked away the minutes, each one bringing Laika closer to her historic flight. The mood among the team was tense, a mixture of excitement and nervousness. They had done everything possible to prepare, but the unknowns of space travel lingered in their minds. Laika, for her part, was calm. Her training had prepared her for this moment, and she trusted the humans who had cared for her throughout this incredible journey. She was fitted into her specially designed suit, a snug garment that would protect her and help monitor her vital signs during the flight. Then, with gentle hands, she was placed into the capsule, her small space in the towering rocket. As the final checks were completed, the team gathered for a moment of reflection. They thought about the journey ahead, about the risks and the possibilities. Dr. Ivanov, the lead scientist, looked at the team, his eyes filled with pride. "We have done everything we can," he said. "Now, it's up to Laika. She's not just a dog, she's a pioneer, a true explorer." The team nodded, their hearts heavy with the weight of the moment. They had grown to love Laika, to see her as more than just the subject of an experiment. She was a symbol of their hopes, their dreams, and their determination to reach beyond the known limits of the world. Outside, the crowd of journalists and spectators had grown. People from all walks of life had come to witness the launch, their faces turned up towards the rocket. The air was electric with anticipation, a shared excitement that transcended language and nationality. The countdown continued, the voice over the loudspeaker steady and clear. T-minus 10 minutes to launch. The team took their positions, their eyes glued to the monitors that would track Laika's journey. Every system was green, every indicator showing that the rocket was ready. In the capsule, Laika sat quietly, her breathing steady. She could feel the vibration of the rocket around her, a gentle rumble that grew in intensity as the moment of liftoff approached. Around her, the capsule was familiar, filled with the smells and sounds of her training. She was ready as any living being could be for the journey into the unknown. T-minus 1 minute. The voice over the loudspeaker seemed to echo, its words hanging in the air. The team held their breath, their hands clenched in anticipation. Dr. Ivanov closed his eyes for a moment, sending a silent wish into the universe for Laika's safe journey. The final countdown began. 10, 9, 8, 7. The voices of the team joined in, a chorus of hope and determination. 6, 5, 4. Laika's heart rate increased, her instincts sensing the imminent launch. 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. The rocket roared to life, flames and smoke billowing from its base as it lifted off the ground. The force of the launch pressed Laika back into her seat, but she remained calm, her training kicking in. Up and up the rocket went, piercing the sky, its trajectory true and strong. The team watched, tears in their eyes, as Laika and the rocket disappeared into the sky. The monitors showed that the launch was perfect, the rocket performing exactly as it should. Cheers and applause broke out, a celebration of the momentous achievement. But in the hearts of the team, there was also a touch of sadness. Laika was now on her own, a small pioneer in the vastness of space. They had done their part, and now it was up to her. As the rocket reached orbit, the tension in the Space Center eased. The first stage of Laika's journey was complete, but there were still challenges ahead. The team settled in to monitor her progress, ready to support their brave little explorer in any way they could. The countdown to liftoff had been a moment of high emotion, a culmination of hard work and dreams. But it was also just the beginning. Laika's journey into space was a step into the unknown, a testament to the courage of all those who dare to explore beyond the boundaries of our world. Chapter 8. Liftoff. The moment had arrived. Laika, the small dog with a heart full of courage, was about to embark on a journey unlike any other. From her position inside the capsule, she could feel the world around her beginning to change. The gentle hum of the machinery, the subtle shifts in temperature, and the faint voices of the scientists outside her tiny home. All these familiar sounds seemed to fade into the background as the countdown began. Laika didn't understand the numbers being called out, but she sensed their importance. With each passing second, her heartbeat quickened, a natural response to the anticipation building around her. Yet, amidst the growing tension, there was a part of her that remained calm, grounded in the trust she had in the humans who had prepared her for this moment. As the final seconds ticked away, a deep, rumbling vibration began to fill the capsule. Laika felt the force of it through her body, a sensation unlike anything she had ever experienced. It was as if the earth itself was stirring, awakening from a deep slumber. The vibrations grew stronger, building into a powerful roar that seemed to envelop her completely. Then, liftoff. The force of the launch pressed Laika back into her seat, a gentle hand holding her in place. Around her, the capsule came alive with the sound of the rocket's engines, a thunderous symphony that marked the beginning of her ascent. Despite the intensity of the moment, Laika remained poised, her training helping her to understand that this was all part of the journey. As the rocket climbed higher, the pressure of the acceleration was a constant presence, a reminder of the incredible journey she was undertaking. Outside the capsule, the sky transformed from the familiar blue of Earth to the deep black of space. A transition that went unnoticed by Laika but was recorded by the cameras and instruments that surrounded her. In those first few minutes of flight, Laika was more than just a dog on a mission. She was a pioneer, a symbol of hope and exploration. She was venturing into the unknown, propelled by the dreams and ambitions of the humans who had sent her on this journey. The sensation of liftoff soon gave way to a new feeling, one that was altogether strange and wondrous: weightlessness. Laika floated inside her capsule, untethered from the pull of gravity. It was a sensation that no amount of training could have fully prepared her for, yet she adapted with remarkable ease, her resilience shining through. From her vantage point inside the capsule, Laika could see the curve of the Earth below her, a sight that was captured by the onboard cameras and transmitted back to the Space Center. The beauty of the planet, with its swirling clouds and vast oceans, was lost on Laika, but not on the humans who watched with bated breath from millions of miles away. The first stage of the mission was a success. Laika was now orbiting the Earth, her capsule a tiny speck in the vast expanse of space. The scientists at the Space Center monitored her progress closely, relieved to see that all systems were functioning as planned. Laika, for her part, settled into her new environment, her body adapting to the weightlessness with the same grace and courage that had marked her entire journey. From the streets of Moscow to the orbit of Earth, Laika's journey was a testament to the boundless potential of the living spirit. She had faced the unknown with bravery, embarking on a journey that would forever change the way humanity viewed the cosmos. Liftoff was not just a moment of technological achievement. It was a point of connection between Earth and the stars, a moment that bridged the gap between the known and the unknown. And at the heart of it all was Laika, a small dog with a mighty heart who had shown that courage knows no bounds and that the spirit of exploration burns brightly within all living beings. As the capsule continued its orbit, Laika's legacy was already being written. She was more than just a passenger on a rocket. She was a pioneer, leading the way for all those who would follow in her paw prints. Her journey into space was a beacon of hope, a reminder of the incredible feats that can be achieved when courage and curiosity come together. Liftoff had marked the beginning of Laika's historic journey, a journey that was watched by the world with awe and admiration. In those moments of ascent, she had not only reached for the stars, but had also touched the hearts of millions, becoming a symbol of resilience and the enduring spirit of exploration. Chapter 9. Orbiting Earth. Laika, the brave dog from Moscow, was now far from home, orbiting Earth in a spacecraft. As the rocket left the atmosphere, the intense vibrations and roaring sounds faded into a serene silence. Laika found herself floating, a feeling both strange and exciting. This was the realm of weightlessness, a sensation no earthbound creature had ever experienced before her. Around her, the capsule was equipped with everything needed for her journey. Despite its compact size, it was designed to keep her safe and comfortable. Laika adjusted to her new environment, her training helping her remain calm and composed. As the spacecraft orbited Earth, Laika became the first living being to see our planet from space. Through the small window of her capsule, she could see the vast expanse of the world below. From this incredible vantage point, continents appeared as mere patches of color, oceans vast and endless, and clouds swirled like white smoke. Although Laika couldn't comprehend the magnitude of what she was seeing, her unique perspective offered a glimpse of Earth's beauty and fragility. The spacecraft continued its orbit, circling the Earth every 90 minutes. Day and night passed in rapid succession, a phenomenon unique to space travel. For Laika, the concepts of day and night blurred as she experienced several sunrises and sunsets within the span of a few hours. Meanwhile, back on Earth, scientists monitored Laika's progress closely. They tracked her vital signs, ensuring she remained healthy and comfortable. The data Laika sent back was invaluable, providing insights into how living organisms cope with the conditions of space. Her brave journey was not just a solitary voyage, but a mission that carried the hopes and dreams of those who had sent her. Laika's experience orbiting Earth was a testament to the indomitable spirit of exploration. She had ventured into the unknown, a small dog against the vast backdrop of space, and in doing so had expanded the boundaries of what was thought possible. As she orbited the planet, Laika showed no signs of distress. Her calm demeanor in the face of the unknown was a source of inspiration for the scientists and engineers who had worked tirelessly on the mission. She adapted to her surroundings with remarkable resilience, floating gracefully within the capsule, her movements slow and deliberate in the absence of gravity. The world watched in awe as updates on Laika's journey were broadcast. People from all walks of life were captivated by the story of the small dog who had become the world's first space traveler. Laika's voyage was a symbol of hope and possibility, a reminder that the barriers between Earth and the stars were not insurmountable. As Laika continued her orbit around Earth, she became more than just a scientific experiment. She was a pioneer, a symbol of courage and exploration. Her journey showed that space was not beyond reach, that with bravery and determination, even the furthest stars could one day be within grasp. Laika's time in space was limited, but her legacy would endure. She had opened the door to human spaceflight, proving that living beings could survive and adapt to the conditions of space. Her mission laid the groundwork for future explorations, setting the stage for the astronauts who would follow in her path. Orbiting Earth. Laika was alone but not forgotten. She was watched over by the scientists who had prepared her for this journey, and admired by millions around the world. Her voyage was a milestone in the history of space exploration, a chapter written in the stars. As Laika looked down upon Earth from her capsule, she saw a world without borders, a planet united by the shared dream of reaching beyond our own limits. In that moment, she was more than just a dog. She was a messenger from Earth, a beacon of hope and discovery. Laika's journey into space was a bold leap into the unknown, a venture into the final frontier that would inspire generations to come. She had shown that the cosmos was within reach, and her legacy would live on, a testament to the courage and curiosity that drive us to explore the stars. Chapter 10. A Star Among Stars. High above the Earth, nestled within the confines of her spacecraft, Laika found herself in a realm far removed from anything she had ever known. The small, cozy streets of Moscow, once her entire world, now seemed like distant memories as she orbited the planet, a lone explorer in the vastness of space. As the spacecraft circled Earth, Laika gazed out of her small window. Below her, the planet was a breathtaking mosaic of blues, greens, and whites. The continents were spread out like patches on a giant quilt, the oceans vast and mysterious. Clouds swirled around the globe, casting moving shadows over the land and sea. It was a sight of unparalleled beauty, one that few had ever witnessed. In those moments, Laika felt an overwhelming sense of wonder. Though she could not comprehend the full extent of her journey, she sensed its significance. She was not just a dog from Moscow anymore. She was a pioneer, a voyager on a grand adventure. She had become a part of something much larger than herself, a symbol of courage and the boundless curiosity of all living beings. Floating in the weightlessness of space, Laika experienced a profound tranquility. The usual noises that filled her days on Earth, the hustle and bustle of the city, the voices of the scientists and trainers, were absent here. In their place was a serene silence, a quiet that spoke of the infinite expanse of the universe. Laika's journey had not been an easy one. From the moment she was selected for the mission, she had faced countless challenges. Each step of her training had tested her, pushed her to her limits. But as she looked down upon the earth, all those challenges seemed to fade away. What remained was a sense of accomplishment, a quiet pride in having ventured into the unknown. Despite the distance that separated her from her home planet, Laika did not feel alone. She felt connected to the earth in a way she had never before experienced. She understood, in her own way, that she was part of a larger story, a narrative of exploration and discovery that stretched back through the ages. As Laika continued to orbit the Earth, she became a witness to the planet's changing face. She saw the sun rise and set, casting its golden light over the surface of the Earth. She watched as storms gathered over the oceans, their lightning strikes illuminating the clouds. She observed the changing seasons, the shifting patterns of snow and greenery. Through it all, Laika remained a calm observer, her spirit undimmed by the solitude of her journey. She had adapted to her new environment with remarkable resilience, embracing the challenges of space travel with a quiet determination. Laika's mission was not just a scientific endeavor, it was a testament to the spirit of exploration that dwells within us all. She had ventured where no one had gone before, bridging the gap between Earth and the stars. In doing so, she had become a star among stars, a beacon of hope and courage in the endless night of space. As her mission drew to a close, Laika's thoughts turned to those she had left behind, the scientists and trainers who had prepared her for this journey, the people of Moscow who had watched her ascent with bated breath. She felt a deep gratitude for their guidance and care, a bond that not even the vastness of space could sever. Laika's journey into space was a milestone in the history of exploration, a chapter in the ongoing story of our quest to understand the universe. She had shown that the boundaries of our world are not the limits of our dreams, that with courage and curiosity, even the stars are within our reach. As she orbited the Earth, Laika was more than just a dog on a mission. She was a symbol of the possibilities that lie beyond the horizon, a reminder that the spirit of adventure is a light that never dims. In the silent beauty of space, Laika had found her place in the vast universe, a small but significant part of the grand tapestry of existence. Chapter 11. The Scientist's Struggle. Back on Earth, within the walls of the Space Center, a group of dedicated scientists watched over Laika's mission with bated breath. The launch had been a success, a testament to their hard work and dedication. Yet, as Laika orbited the Earth, a new challenge presented itself, ensuring her well-being throughout the journey. The control room was a hive of activity, screens and monitors flickering with data from the spacecraft. Each beep and blip represented Laika's vital signs, her heartbeat, breathing, and overall health. The scientists listened intently, analyzing every piece of information, looking for any signs of distress. Dr. Ivanov, the lead scientist, stood at the forefront, his eyes rarely leaving the screens. He had grown particularly close to Laika during her training, and now felt a deep responsibility for her safety. "We must do everything in our power to ensure she remains comfortable," he reminded his team, his voice steady despite the worry that lingered in his heart. Maria, Laika's primary trainer, monitored the environmental controls of the capsule. She adjusted the temperature and humidity levels to keep Laika as comfortable as possible. It was a delicate balance, one that required constant attention. Laika is depending on us, Maria said, her focus unwavering. We won't let her down. Alexei, the engineer responsible for designing Laika's capsule, kept an eye on the technical aspects of the mission. He checked the systems that delivered food and water to Laika, ensuring they functioned correctly. The slightest malfunction could put Laika at risk, a thought that weighed heavily on his mind. Every system must perform flawlessly, Alexei muttered to himself as he ran another diagnostic check. The team faced numerous challenges in monitoring Laika's health from such a great distance. Communication delays and the limited technology of the time made it difficult to get real-time updates. Yet, through ingenuity and determination, they persevered, finding ways to overcome these obstacles. As the mission progressed, the scientists encountered moments of tension and fear. There were times when the data seemed to suggest a problem, a spike in Laika's heart rate, or a drop in cabin pressure. Each time, the team sprang into action, analyzing the data, running simulations, and preparing contingencies. Despite the stress and long hours, the team remained committed to their mission. They understood the significance of Laika's journey, not just for the advancement of space exploration, but for the bond between humans and animals. They were not just scientists and engineers, they were caretakers, entrusted with the well-being of a brave dog who had become a symbol of hope and courage. The struggle to monitor and maintain Laika's health was a constant reminder of the stakes of the mission. The team knew that Laika's journey was a one-way trip, a fact that cast a shadow over their efforts. Yet, they also knew that her mission would pave the way for future space exploration, potentially benefiting all of humanity. In the quiet moments, when the data streams were steady, and Laika seemed to be doing well, the team allowed themselves a moment of pride. They had achieved something remarkable, sending a living being into space and maintaining her health against all odds. Dr. Ivanov often thought of Laika floating in her capsule high above the Earth. He hoped that she could sense their efforts, that she knew she was not alone. "You're making history, Laika," he whispered to himself, a sentiment echoed in the hearts of all the team members. The scientists' struggle was a testament to their dedication and the depth of their commitment to Laika and the mission. They worked tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of what was possible, driven by a mix of scientific curiosity and a deep sense of responsibility for the well-being of their canine cosmonaut. As the mission neared its end, the team prepared for the inevitable. They knew that saying goodbye to Laika would be difficult, a bittersweet conclusion to a journey that had brought them together and changed their lives forever. The mission of Laika, while a leap forward in space exploration, also served as a poignant reminder of the ethical considerations of sending animals into space. The scientists grappled with these questions, their efforts to monitor and care for Laika highlighting the complex relationship between humans and the animals with whom we share our planet. In the end, the scientists' struggle was not just about the technical challenges of space travel, it was about the compassion and empathy that define us as humans. Laika's journey taught them invaluable lessons about the sacrifices and responsibilities inherent in the exploration of the unknown. Chapter 12. Messages from Space. Laika's historic journey into orbit wasn't just a voyage of bravery. It was a mission filled with invaluable lessons for humanity. As she circled the Earth, tucked inside her spacecraft, the data streaming back to the scientists on the ground painted a new picture of space travel and its future possibilities. The control room was always buzzing with activity, with screens lighting up with fresh data from Laika's capsule. Every heartbeat, Every breath Laika took in space was recorded, giving scientists insights into how living beings can survive in the void beyond Earth's atmosphere. One of the first messages from space was about life's resilience. Laika's ability to adapt to the weightlessness of space, to eat and drink in an environment where everything floats, showed that life could find a way even in the most alien of conditions. This was a beacon of hope for future astronauts who would one day follow in Laika's paw prints. Temperature control was another crucial lesson. Space is a place of extremes, where the sun's unfiltered rays can make it boiling hot, and the absence of sunlight can drop temperatures drastically. The scientists learned how to maintain a stable temperature inside a spacecraft, ensuring the comfort and safety of its occupants. This knowledge would become fundamental in designing future manned missions. The data on radiation levels provided another key insight. Space is filled with cosmic rays and solar radiation, invisible but potentially harmful forces. Laika's journey helped map these hazards, guiding scientists in creating better shielding for spacecraft. This would protect not only future animal astronauts, but also the humans who would venture into space. Communication was a challenge that Laika's mission helped to address. Sending signals back and forth between Earth and a spacecraft in orbit required precision and reliability. The mission tested and improved these systems, making distant space communication a reality. This was critical for navigating spacecraft, monitoring health, and conducting scientific experiments in space. One of the most poignant messages from Laika's mission was about the psychological aspects of space travel. Even though Laika couldn't share her feelings, observing her behavior helped scientists understand the potential effects of isolation and confinement on astronauts. This led to better psychological support and training for future space travelers, ensuring they were not just physically but also mentally prepared for their missions. Laika's mission also sparked a conversation about the ethical treatment of animals in scientific research. Her journey highlighted the need for responsible practices in using animals to advance science. It prompted discussions and led to more humane treatment and consideration for the welfare of animals in future missions. Perhaps the most significant message from Laika's mission was the demonstration of humanity's capability to explore beyond our planet. Laika's successful orbit was a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance, showing that the mysteries of space were within reach. It laid the groundwork for manned space flights, setting the stage for the astronauts who would walk on the moon and live in space stations orbiting our planet. Laika's mission was a mosaic of lessons, each piece contributing to a larger understanding of space and our place within it. It was a journey that expanded our horizons, teaching us not just about the technicalities of space travel, but about our own capabilities and limitations. As the mission concluded, the scientists reflected on these messages from space. They realized that Laika's journey was more than a scientific experiment. It was a step towards a future where humans could explore the stars, where space travel could become as familiar as airplane flights. Laika's legacy was not just in the data she provided, but in the inspiration she offered. She showed that with courage, curiosity, and compassion, the vast universe was within our reach. Her journey into space was a message of hope and possibility, a reminder that the final frontier was not so final after all. As humanity looked to the stars, Laika's mission served as a guiding light, a beacon that led the way into the unknown. Her journey taught us about space, about ourselves, and about the future we could build among the stars. It was a message from space, loud and clear, that the journey had only just begun. Chapter 13. Remembering Laika. As Laika's groundbreaking mission in space neared its conclusion, people around the world and the scientists who had prepared her for this journey took a moment to reflect on her legacy. Laika, a small dog from the streets of Moscow, had become a global icon, a symbol of courage and the spirit of exploration. Laika's journey into space was more than a scientific achievement. It was a milestone that showed the possibilities of space travel. She had proven that living beings could survive the launch into space and live in orbit around the Earth. This was a crucial step toward sending humans into space, opening the door to endless possibilities for exploration and discovery. The scientists who had worked with Laika felt a mix of emotions as the mission came to an end. They were proud of what they had accomplished, but also deeply moved by Laika's sacrifice. Dr. Ivanov, the lead scientist, often thought about Laika's contribution to space exploration. "Laika has taught us so much," he said to his team. "Her journey will pave the way for future missions, making it safer for those who follow in her path." Laika's legacy extended beyond the scientific data she provided. She had captured the hearts of people around the world, becoming a symbol of hope and bravery. Children and adults alike were inspired by her story, a testament to the bond between humans and animals and the shared desire to reach for the stars. In schools, teachers used Laika's story to inspire students, teaching them about space, science, and the importance of pursuing their dreams, no matter how impossible they might seem. Laika's journey showed that with determination and courage, even the smallest among us could achieve greatness. The impact of Laika's mission on space exploration was profound. It highlighted the need for further research and development in space technology, leading to advancements in spacecraft design, life support systems, and safety protocols. Future missions would build on the knowledge gained from Laika's journey, making space travel more accessible and safer for humans. Laika also sparked a conversation about the ethical treatment of animals in scientific research. Her mission raised awareness about the responsibilities scientists have toward their animal counterparts. It led to discussions about animal welfare in science, resulting in more humane treatment and consideration for the lives of animals involved in research. As the mission concluded, the Space Center held a ceremony to honor Laika's contribution. The scientists and staff gathered to pay tribute to the little dog who had become a star among stars. They shared stories of her bravery, her gentle nature, and the lessons she had taught them. It was a moment of gratitude and remembrance, a recognition of Laika's place in history. Dr. Ivanov spoke at the ceremony, his voice filled with emotion. Laika's journey was not just a leap into space, it was a leap into the future, he said. She has shown us what is possible when we dare to dream, to explore beyond our limits. Laika will always be remembered, not just as a dog who went to space, but as a pioneer who opened the door to the universe. Laika's legacy continued to inspire generations. Monuments were erected in her honor, and her story was told in books, movies, and songs. She was remembered not just as a participant in a space mission, but as a hero who had ventured into the unknown for the benefit of all humanity. As the world looked up at the stars, Laika's spirit was there, reminding everyone of the courage it takes to explore new frontiers. Her journey into space was a testament to the boundless possibilities that await when we reach beyond our grasp, when we dare to dream of the unknown. Remembering Laika meant more than commemorating a historic mission. It was a celebration of the spirit of exploration that lives in each of us. Laika's journey into space had shown the world that the cosmos was within reach, that the stars were not so far away after all. Her legacy was a beacon of hope, guiding humanity as it continued its quest to explore the vast universe. Chapter 14. A Hero's Farewell. As Laika's historic mission approached its final chapter, the scientists at the Space Center prepared to say goodbye to the brave dog who had captured the hearts of millions. Her journey, a monumental step for space exploration, was coming to an end, and with it, a profound moment of reflection and emotion for those who had been part of this extraordinary venture. In the control room, where they had monitored Laika's journey from the very beginning, the team gathered. Screens that had flickered with data now displayed the final readings of the mission. Dr. Ivanov, the lead scientist, stood among his colleagues, his eyes reflecting the weight of the moment. "Laika has done more for us than we could have ever asked," he said, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "She showed us the way to the stars. Today we honor her bravery, her spirit, and her contribution to humanity's quest for knowledge." Maria, who had been Laika's closest companion during her training, clutched a small photo of Laika, her eyes misty. "You were always more than just a dog," she whispered, as if Laika could hear her. "You were a pioneer, a friend, and a hero. You've taught us so much, and will carry your legacy forward." Alexei, the engineer who had designed Laika's capsule, adjusted the displays one last time, ensuring that Laika's final moments would be as comfortable as possible. "You've traveled farther than any of us, Laika," he said quietly. "You've shown us what's possible when we dare to dream big. Thank you." The team stood in silence, each lost in their thoughts, reflecting on the journey that had brought them together. Laika's mission had not only pushed the boundaries of space exploration, but had also shown the depth of the bond between humans and animals. In her silence, Laika had spoken volumes, teaching lessons of courage, determination, and the thirst for discovery. As the spacecraft made its final orbits, the team watched the monitors, a solemn tribute to the dog who had ventured into the unknown for the sake of all. The data from the spacecraft slowly ceased, marking the end of Laika's journey. The room was filled with a heavy silence, a mix of sorrow and gratitude for the sacrifice Laika had made. Dr. Ivanov addressed the team, his voice a soft echo in the quiet room. "Laika's mission has come to an end, but her legacy will live on forever. She was the first living being to orbit the Earth, paving the way for future explorers. Let us remember her not for how her journey ended, but for the hope and possibility she represents. Today, we say goodbye to a true hero." In the days that followed, tributes poured in from around the world. People from all walks of life honored Laika's bravery, her story touching the hearts of millions. Statues were erected in her honor, and her name became synonymous with the spirit of exploration and discovery. The scientists at the Space Center organized a memorial for Laika, a tribute to her contribution to space exploration. They shared stories of her training, her quirks, and her unyielding spirit. It was a celebration of her life, a farewell fitting for a hero who had ventured beyond the confines of our world. Laika's journey had ended, but the path she had illuminated remained. She had shown that the vast expanse of space was within reach, that the unknown was not to be feared but explored. Her legacy inspired generations of scientists, astronauts, and dreamers to look to the stars and imagine what could be. As the memorial concluded, the team released a cluster of balloons into the sky, each one carrying a message of gratitude and remembrance for Laika. They watched as the balloons drifted higher, disappearing into the blue, a symbol of Laika's journey to the stars. A hero's farewell for a true pioneer, Dr. Ivanov said, his eyes following the balloons. Goodbye, Laika. You've shown us the way. Now it's our turn to follow. Laika's story, a poignant chapter in the annals of space exploration, ended not with silence, but with a message of hope. Her courage, her journey, and her sacrifice would be remembered, a beacon guiding humanity as it continued its quest to explore the unknown. In the vastness of space, among the stars she had once orbited, Laika's spirit lived on, a reminder of the small dog who had looked down on Earth and ventured where no one had gone before. Her farewell was not an end, but a beginning, the first step on a journey that would take humanity to the stars and beyond. Chapter 15. The World Reacts. When news of Laika's journey into space spread around the globe, it sparked a wave of reactions. From the bustling streets of cities to quiet countryside villages, people were captivated by the story of the small dog who had embarked on a monumental journey beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Laika's mission touched hearts and ignited imaginations worldwide, becoming a moment of shared wonder and reflection. Newspapers and magazines featured headlines about Laiku, hailing her the first living being to orbit the Earth. Television reports showed images of the small, white and brown dog, with commentators speaking about her bravery and the significance of her mission. In schools, teachers used Laika's story to inspire their students, talking about space exploration and the possibilities it held for the future. In cities around the world, people gathered in public squares to discuss the news. Some were filled with awe at the scientific achievement, marveling at how far humanity had come. To think that a dog has seen the Earth from space is truly remarkable, said a man in a crowded cafe, his eyes wide with wonder. Others were moved by Laika's story, feeling a deep connection to the dog who had made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of exploration. She represents the best of us, the courage to explore the unknown, a woman said, her voice tinged with emotion as she read the newspaper story to her friends. Children, in particular, were fascinated by Laika. They drew pictures of her in her spacecraft, surrounded by stars and planets, imagining what she might have seen from her window in space. Laika is like a superhero, one child exclaimed, his drawing showing Laika with a cape, flying through space. The scientific community hailed the mission as a breakthrough. Conferences and meetings were abuzz with discussions about Laika's data and what it meant for future space travel. Laika has opened the door for us to explore the cosmos, a scientist said during a television interview, his respect for the mission evident in his tone. However, Laika's mission also sparked a debate about the ethical treatment of animals in scientific research. Activists and animal lovers voiced their concerns, highlighting the need for compassion and responsibility in the pursuit of knowledge. While we celebrate this achievement, we must also remember the cost, said an activist at a rally, her words a reminder of the moral considerations of such endeavors. Despite the varied reactions, one thing was clear. Laika had become a symbol of hope and curiosity, a beacon of progress and exploration. Her story transcended borders and cultures, uniting people in a shared moment of human achievement. As the days passed, tributes to Laika began to appear. Statues were erected in her honor, and songs and poems were written, celebrating her courage and spirit. In a world divided by countless differences, Laika's mission had brought people together, reminding them of the common aspirations and dreams that bind humanity. Years later, Laika's legacy continued to inspire. Museums featured exhibits about her mission, ensuring that future generations would learn about the small dog who had ventured into space. Her story was a testament to the power of exploration, to the boundless curiosity that drives humanity to reach for the stars. Laika's journey into space was a moment of collective wonder, a shared experience that touched the hearts of people around the world. It was a reminder of the incredible feats that can be achieved when courage and innovation come together, a message of hope for the future of space exploration. As the world looked up at the night sky, Laika's story served as a reminder of the vast universe awaiting discovery and the small steps that lead to giant leaps. Her legacy was not just about the past, it was a beacon for the future, lighting the way for the explorers, dreamers, and pioneers who would follow in her paw prints, reaching for the stars. Chapter 16. Legacy of a Space Dog. Laika's historic journey into space was not just a momentous event in the annals of space exploration. It was a catalyst that spurred on a new era of discovery beyond our planet. Her mission paved the way for future astronauts and deepened our understanding of space, leaving a legacy that would inspire advancements in space exploration for years to come. After Laika's mission, the world's interest in space travel surged. Scientists and engineers were motivated by her journey to develop more advanced technologies for space exploration. Spacecraft became more sophisticated, equipped with better life support systems to ensure the safety and comfort of their occupants, thanks to the lessons learned from Laika's mission. One of the most significant advancements inspired by Laika's journey was the development of manned space flights. Her mission proved that living beings could survive the launch and conditions of space, setting the stage for the first human spaceflight. Astronauts like Yuri Gagarin, who became the first human to orbit Earth, owed a part of their journey to the path that Laika had blazed. Space agencies around the world intensified their efforts to explore further into space. Missions to the Moon, Mars, and beyond were planned, with the knowledge that space could be conquered, that the mysteries of the universe were within reach. Each new mission built upon the foundation that Laika's mission had laid, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Laika's legacy also inspired educational initiatives to foster a love of science and exploration among young people. Schools introduced programs and activities centered around space exploration, encouraging students to dream big and pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Laika's story was a testament to the power of curiosity and the importance of exploration, serving as an inspiration to generations of future scientists and explorers. Furthermore, Laika's mission brought attention to the ethical treatment of animals in research and space exploration. It sparked discussions about the responsibilities of scientists to their non-human participants, leading to improvements in the care and treatment of animals in various fields of research. This was a crucial aspect of Laika's legacy, reminding us of the need for compassion and ethical consideration in the pursuit of knowledge. As the years passed, Laika was remembered not just as the first animal to orbit Earth, but as a symbol of the spirit of exploration. Monuments were erected in her honor, and her story was included in textbooks, documentaries, and exhibits, ensuring that her contribution to space exploration would not be forgotten. Laika's mission had shown the world that the vastness of space was not an insurmountable barrier, but a new frontier to be explored. Her legacy was a bridge between the Earth and the stars, a reminder of the small steps that lead to giant leaps in our quest to understand the universe. In the realm of space exploration, Laika's name was spoken with reverence. She was a pioneer who had ventured into the unknown, her courage and sacrifice a beacon for all who followed in her path. Astronauts and cosmonauts, as they looked down upon the Earth from the vastness of space, often thought of Laika, a small dog who had seen the world from a perspective few could imagine. Today, as humanity stands on the cusp of new explorations to Mars and beyond, Laika's legacy continues to inspire. She taught us that with courage, determination, and a spirit of discovery, even the stars are within our grasp. Her journey into space was a small step for a dog, but a giant leap for mankind, a legacy of a space dog that would forever light the way into the unknown. Chapter 17. Eternal Memory. As the story of Laika, the first space dog, comes to a close, her enduring legacy continues to resonate across the globe. Laika's journey into the vastness of space was not just a testament to human ingenuity, but also a profound lesson in courage, exploration, and the deep bond between humans and animals. Her mission, while a leap into the unknown, illuminated the path for future space exploration and highlighted the spirit of adventure that lies at the heart of all beings. Laika's courage in the face of the unknown became a beacon of inspiration. She ventured into space with the trust and bravery that few could imagine, showing that courage is not the absence of fear, but the determination to face it. Laika's journey reminds us that bravery comes in many forms, and sometimes the greatest heroes are the ones who don't realize they are being courageous. The spirit of exploration that Laika embodied continues to drive humanity's quest to understand the cosmos. Her mission underscored the importance of pushing beyond our limits and exploring new frontiers. It taught us that to discover the mysteries of the universe, we must be willing to take risks and venture where no one has gone before. Laika's legacy encourages us to keep looking up at the stars, dreaming of the possibilities that lie beyond our planet. Moreover, Laika's story highlighted the profound bond between humans and animals. She was not just a subject of a scientific experiment. She was a companion on a journey that pushed the boundaries of space exploration. Her mission brought into focus the ethical responsibilities we have towards the animals with whom we share this planet. Laika's story is a reminder that in our quest for knowledge and discovery, we must always consider the welfare of all Earth's inhabitants. As we reflect on Laika's legacy, we are reminded of the lessons she taught us. Her courage, her spirit of exploration, and her role in the human-animal bond continue to inspire and guide us. Laika's story is a testament to the indomitable spirit of exploration that defines us, urging us to pursue our dreams, no matter how impossible they may seem. In memory of Laika, monuments stand and stories are told, ensuring that her legacy will endure for generations to come. She has become a symbol of the endless possibilities that await us in the vast expanse of space and the importance of approaching our explorations with courage, compassion, and curiosity. As we gaze up at the night sky, we remember Laika, a small dog with a great heart, who taught us that even the stars are not out of reach. Her journey into space was a milestone in our quest to explore the unknown, a reminder of the bravery and spirit of adventure that dwell within us all. Laika's story, though it began in the cold streets of Moscow, has become a global tale of inspiration and discovery. It is a story that transcends time and space, a story of a space dog who ventured into the unknown and in doing so, showed us the way to the stars. Her memory is eternal, a lasting tribute to the courage and curiosity that propel us forward in our journey to understand the universe. As we continue to explore the cosmos, venturing further into space than ever before, we carry with us the lessons learned from Laika's mission. Her legacy is not just about the past. It is a beacon for the future, lighting the way for the explorers, dreamers, and pioneers who will follow in her pawprints. Laika's journey into space was a small step for a dog, but a giant leap for mankind. A leap into a future where the mysteries of the universe are within our grasp. In the eternal memory of Laika, we find the inspiration to continue our exploration of the cosmos, reminding us that with courage, compassion, and curiosity, nothing is beyond our reach.